Mayor under fire for over a year now. Chaos and dysfunction at City Hall have become pretty well publicized. Council and staff often pitted against the mayor. They say that the mayor is the common thread throughout it all. The city recently said in a public statement that the mayor has placed the corporation in legal jeopardy to the tune of somewhere north of $1 million and perhaps far, far more. Legal exposure that would ultimately be borne by Kamloops taxpayers. The mayor has said in recent days that he intends to defend himself, and so he is here in studio live. Your worship, welcome back. Thanks for coming in. You put your big boy pants on, and here you are, and you're actually looking sharp today.
Brett, what did you just call me?
I said your worship.
I can't believe that. Unreal.
Well, I read I read articles. I read some articles.
It's been a year. Actually, March of a year that I've been asking to come on your show. Actually, after the Go Stop game. But anyways, we'll get back to
sure where we are. You're here, so I'm glad you're here. Now, I guess where do we begin? Because what would you like to let everybody know?
Well, let's start with what you just said.
Sure.
The mayor's going to cost the corporation $1 million or how many. I think Councillor O'Reilly has said that, and I don't know who he's representing that's going to be taking the city to challenge. But, we've got a WorkSafe BC, where if employees feel that they've been mistreated or constructively dismissed or anything like that, there's WorkBase BC, and then there's also your lawyers. So you can get individual lawyers to defend yourself or to start a claim. So to assume that people are going to be suing the city because of me is it's bizarre. Again, you have to file that yourself. It's like, Brett, I can't go file a claim at WorkSafe BC for you or get a lawyer to that's got to be something individual. So I don't know who's encouraging that or why they would.
Well, WorkSafe BC they don't adjudicate anything. They just administer the Workers' Compensation Act, and so their role is just to make sure that the city has workplace bullying and harassment policies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. On the legal front, though, I think what is being suggested is that if folks like David Trowan or Byron McCorkle, if they are suspended or whatever, they have cause for that would be considered constructive dismissal, and right in their contracts, it's all laid out in terms of how much would be owed in terms of severance for without cause termination. Additionally,
well, let's just stop right there.
Yeah.
For starters, who is dismissing somebody? Who's constructively distressed? Who's done that?
Well, you recently suspended Byron McCorkle, and you were very clear with us that your intention was to get rid of him for good.
No, I suspended him, and on the 26th of March. And whatever I think, it doesn't matter. You need 2/3 of council to vote for that. So
sure.
Whatever I think. And again, if you read section 152 of the community charter, it would have been closer to that. So I don't know if you've read that at all, but I did section 151. And it's very clear that it says if the mayor feels it necessary, that he should suspend somebody. And that's what I did. The next meeting was supposed to be on April the 9th, and then we would have discussed it between now and then. And that never happened. So again, I don't have one WorkSafe file against me against any employees. I don't have one
because that's not a thing.
Well, it actually is a thing.
Well, no, it's not.
Okay, then. Okay, Brett. I don't.
I used to work there.
Okay, good for you. That's good for you. I don't have one QP 900 harassment and bullying case. I do not have a harassment and bullying case against me. I have alleged allegations from a hunt truck file from last year. As a matter of fact, I've been asking since last year, February of last year, what the allegations are against me. And I still, actually up until the other day, what showed up in my mail, I found out, and they're false allegations and innuendo. So to continue to assume...
According, how do you prove that?
Which?
How do you prove it's all false? Right?
Well, if somebody doesn't step up to the plate like they said they were gonna, and retract some of their statements, like that I threatened to fire them, then if they don't step up and admit that, then they'll probably end up in a court.
Who are you talking about?
David Trowan.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's documented in the report in email.
What's that?
It's documented in the report.
Where he said that where he said that I didn't threaten to fire him?
that you did.
Well, I've got documentation that's going to show different. Like I said, that there was no defense there. I wanted to participate in that file from day one. I wanted the allegations.
Really? Because that's not what your lawyer was saying. Your lawyer for 2 months went back and forth with Terry Honchuk
because we wanted the allegations. Correct.
But obviously you can't be given, if you're not participating in the process, they're not going to be giving out personal information or letting you know. I mean, you say that you want to defend yourself now, but wasn't the time to do that a year ago when you were being asked for 2 solid months to take part in the investigation? That was your chance.
Brett, very clearly, I asked for what the allegations were. Mr. Honchuk was going to give me those allegations. He never did. I learned about them what I got in the mail, okay? So you can spin this any way you want.
It's not spin. I did the reporting on this.
Did you? Oh, and what was the first 10 pages of that file? Was there not an investigation done by our city safety person?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you're forgetting about that part. What's the start of the file? You actually read a document, especially 70 pages long. Right. You actually start from the top and go down. There was an investigation after Councillor Sarai came in my office and was screaming at me, and that's what sparked it. Did you see in there anywhere where Councillor Sarai was asked to participate?
Well, he was. He was interviewed as part of the process.
Was he? Oh, was he? Oh. And what do you have to say about the incident?
Well, it's all in the report. I don't have it in front of me.
Neither do I. But I can tell you right now, that sparked the investigation. One of our staff, which we paid to do a safety officer, came in. There's a lot of employees on that floor, okay? There isn't just 1 or 2 employees. There's probably a dozen or more, okay? They came in, did the report, and there didn't seem to be a problem. So at that point, other employees can go to, you say they can't go to WorkSafe BC, but they could go to the union or they could go get themselves a lawyer. Why didn't they do that? Why did they do this file on the backs of the taxpayers of Kamloops?
Okay.
Can you answer that question? No.
You're not in here to interview me.
Oh.
I'll tell you that right now.
Oh,
okay?
Okay.
If you're expecting a soapbox, that's not what you're going to get.
Brett, you just finished saying that I didn't want to participate in it. I wanted to participate from day one. Day one. I just want to know the allegations.
Folks, you can check it out, radionl.com. It's there. The reporting is there from June 18th.
Look at the first 10 pages.
It's all there from June 18th.
I've got emails, Brett. I've got emails, okay, from Honchuk from February 23rd, okay? So, you can say whatever you want. Just go say what you want. But you know what? At the end of the day, the truth will come out.
Okay.
And the same as the other day when you guys are sitting there on the air calling me a liar. Not you, but Victor called me a liar last night on the radio. And guess what?
Well, I want to address that with you because I'm going to play you some audio here. This is what he was referring to. Okay, so now this is you with our Paul James just yesterday regarding being locked out of areas at City Hall.
That's correct. Yesterday morning.
So after I signed the papers and things, I was going to take him to Legislative Services, and the door was locked, and I couldn't get into where Legislative Services is, or into the main lobby where I usually come out and greet people that come in and go get them or walk them back out. So, yeah, that door was locked, and then after our EA, she came in and I asked what was going on, and she basically said, "Oh, you didn't know?" And I'm saying, "Well, no." Anyway, then she was going to said to talk to Jen Fretz. So then I actually went out and around also in our reception area. They're not even allowed to let me into where my office area is. But anyway, Jen Fretz ended up phoning. I was busy at the time, and I said to our EA, I said I would just as soon Mrs. Fretz email me, because I'd really like to have all this down on paper, what's going on, not he said, she said stuff. So So again, I won't be checking my emails till a little bit later today, because that's what I do on my one phone, and because sometimes you get 50 to 100 emails a day, so I check them later. So hopefully there'll be a really good explanation of what's going on.
Okay, so now here's Civic Operations Director Jen Fretz.
This decision is definitely inclusive of all 9 elected officials.
Okay, how was everybody told, and when were they told?
So everybody was told on Tuesday. I gave an update on this corporate decision at, it was a closed council meeting, but it wasn't closed information. It was more of a sort of private update, if you will, to mayor and council. So because there was no decision or recommendation or anything made by council, this was an administrative decision. It was, again, more sort of a private update as opposed to a closed decision.
Were all members there, including the mayor?
That's right. Everybody was in attendance.
Everybody was there on Tuesday.
Correct.
Okay. So my question for you then is, why were you surprised by this yesterday? You were at that meeting Tuesday.
Yeah, I sure was. Was that the closed meeting or was that the private meeting?
Well, it's neither. It was.
But what's a private meeting, Brett?
I don't understand where you're going with this.
If you go to the community charter, there's no such thing as a private meeting.
This is obfuscation, though, right?
Because no, this is no.
I'm asking you why you were. The question is why you were surprised.
Do you want me to answer or what?
I do want you to answer.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to tell you something right now, Brett.
Yeah.
Apparently it was a closed meeting, but apparently now it's not because we're talking outside of it. Sounds like Ms. Fretz is talking outside of it. Hang on.
You were there.
You bet I was. You bet I was. But guess what? There wasn't anything mentioned about anybody locking anybody's doors. I asked one question. It was an update that was about very, very small. Okay? An update. Update what? Update what? I asked one question. I said, is my fob going to work? And the answer was yes. Update. What was the update from?
Why do you why is
what
it,
was the update from?
What do you think? Why is it that you think that nobody else on council is upset or surprised about the changes to City Hall access? They're all affected too.
Well, you know what? There's a good chance. I didn't know that. There's a good chance. Okay, there's a good chance that maybe the communications.
How did you not know that when you were there in that meeting?
You know, Brett, I've been asking for audio for that meeting, okay? And once we get that audio, then guess what? You believe everything your sources tell you, okay? That's what you believe, okay? I'm telling you right now, I wasn't clear. When I showed up at my office yesterday morning, I did not have a clue that door was going to be locked. And I've been asking, private meeting? What's a private meeting? Come on. I had no idea, but you know what? Your sources tell you different. So update from what, Brett? What happened before? Did the deputy mayor or deputy CEO send a message to the deputy mayor and the deputy mayor not send it to me? Because I just learned today that there's been a lot of things that haven't been going to me. So again, Brett, what was the update? Update. What does that mean? Was it from one of these council meetings, the closed meetings that's been going on for hours? Like, what's update mean to you?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I got some idea?
I got some questions for you here, okay?
Because you don't want to have an idea, that's why.
You know, it's interesting because one of the...
Update from what?
One of the consistent allegations against you is of bullying.
Yeah, well, again, show me.
Harassment and bullying. And I'm just saying your conduct
you know what?
right now in this interview speaks directly to that.
Oh, does it?
I mean, it does.
Well, Brett, you've been very biased. Very biased. Very biased. You don't look at things unbiased. It doesn't matter what you do, you spin it in a different way.
Well, to what degree do you think that you have any culpability for any of this at City Hall?
What's that?
To what degrry do you think
Brett,
that
these are all allegations and innuendos. You seem to live on those. They're allegations and innuendos, okay? Brett, why do you think they didn't want me to have that investigation? Why didn't they want me to have the hunt truck file? Brett, why?
Well, because you were told early on that if you had participated, you would have been given details.
But no, wrong. I never got the allegations.
I've seen the emails.
You haven't seen my.
We're moving on.
You've seen my emails, Brett?
We're moving on. I've seen the emails.
You have not.
Published June 18th. It's been published.
No. Go to February 23rd. We'll start there, okay?
That'll
be somewhere other than in Radio
and
NL with Brett Manier. I can tell you that right now.
Okay. All right. So, okay. I wanted to ask you then.
Is this allegations or is this fact?
You know what? You came here to do an interview.
Yeah, I know. Right? If they were talking facts.
Yeah, I would like to talk facts instead of obfuscation.
Well, you haven't talked any facts yet.
Well, according to you.
Exactly.
I think the record is going to show.
Yeah. Well, guess what? It is it? Is it?
Okay.
All right, Brett. All right.
Are there currently any sanctions against you that you've refused to follow? I'm thinking training, apology letters, any of those protective measures that we've heard about for staff.
Sorry, slow down. What was it? Give me what they are.
Any sanctions against you right now, resulting from that are a result of code of conduct investigations against you?
Well, I took the Work Safe course. It was sponsored by the British Columbia government, the LGLA, and the UBCM.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things that you were specifically ordered to do through sanction as a result of the finding of a code of conduct investigation.
Which investigation?
You tell me. Are there
the
any?
There's all kinds of code of conduct complaints against me. It's crazy.
Well, so are you currently under any sanctions that we?
Yes, I cannot communicate with staff members. It's got to go through deputy mayor, and the deputy mayor is supposed to relay it to whoever it is, and then the same way back. I've been waiting for months and months and months for answers back, okay? Mm-hmm. The communication is not working. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I just got a call from Castanet about when they extended the 6 months, okay? Mm-hmm. Mike O'Reilly walked up to my office and says, oh, by the way, on February the 19th, he said, oh, by the way, we've extended those communication measures for another 6 months. You know what? On March the 20th, from what Castanet tells me, is when I got these. And I'd like to know really clearly what they are. So, yeah, there's a lot of things going on. And, again, it all stems from this false allegations and innuendos in the hunt truck file, the one that I've been asking from day one. Hang on, let me finish. Let me finish. Can you please let me finish?
Well, you've been doing most of the talking.
You bet I am, because it's been a long time since you let me on your show. Ever since you played your Ghost Dog game.
Actually, anyways, I've tried to get you on a number of times.
Oh, come on, Brett.
I have.
Yeah, when I'm in the middle of a council meeting. Good luck, thanks. I'm not going to dump you. Hey, I've got council members that leave council chambers, Brett, to talk to you.
Reid, I got to ask you here. Are you okay these days?
I'm perfect.
Yeah, because right now you seem to be losing control.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's your judgment, Brett? Is that your analogy?
I'm just saying we're on camera right now too. So.
That's fine, Brett. That's fine. Do you want me to talk quieter? You've been talking BS about me for a long time, Brett. Ever since before the election. Okay? You're very, very biased.
Well, I mean,
very biased.
I pointed out
it's very clear to a lot of people that used to listen to this station. And I feel bad for them.
Well, you still do.
No, every once in a while I do, Brett, but I sure don't listen to you.
Yeah, well, I beg to differ, because you text me you text my boss
all the time.
You text everybody.
Yeah, I don't text you.
Okay, well let's you
texting me.
Listen, let's keep this on the rails here.
Yeah, well, why don't you be a little respectful then?
Okay, it's a two-way street.
You bet it is, Brett. You bet it is.
Okay, so
and false allegations and innuendos don't work with me. Okay.
Okay. Well,
you guys want to talk Trump shows and all down in the States? Maybe you should just go move down there.
All right. So you've been critical of the indemnity that was granted to Councillor Katie Newstater to cover her legal expenses. This is relating to your defamation suit against her. You guys are all entitled to that same indemnity for legal troubles. But then just a few months ago, you suggested that you were seeking it for legal expenses that you were incurring to defend yourself from code of conduct investigations. Is that not a double standard at all?
No, it's totally two different things.
How?
The case against Newstater started with her father reaching out to me prior to the election. Matter of fact, you were there. It was in TRU when we had the forums up there, and he came up to me and wanted to help me. Okay, that's where that started. These new code of conduct complaints that we actually amended to save the taxpayers' money, and now they're coming in like popcorn. And you know what? Yes, I need a little bit of help with this, because I've spent a lot of money to lawyers in Vancouver just to defend myself. And these code of conduct complaints, by the way, Brett, there's been some that have been dropped too, okay? So you don't know about that, though, do you?
Brett,
you don't know about that,
I wanted to ask you.
Thank you very much.
I'm trying to...
Appreciate it.
Okay. Are we able to focus here?
I'm focused, man. I'm focused.
Yeah, okay. So regarding indemnity, okay, has council ever voted to indemnify you?
You know what? If anything was like that, it would have been closed, so I wouldn't be able to talk about that, Brett.
Okay, but I mean...
Closed meeting is a closed meeting, Brett.
Really? Except when it's not. Except when you take materials out of there and march them directly over to the press.
What's that?
Well, I mean, they're not always, apparently.
What do you mean?
Well, you take materials out of closed and you walk it right over to Info News Kamloops.
When was that?
Last week.
Brett, I didn't get that out of closed. I got that in the mailbox, my friend.
I'm not talking about the integrity group report. I'm talking about the closed council order.
I wasn't there.
So how did it end up over there, and why
What-
why did Levi Landry say that you hand delivered it?
Which part of the closed meeting was it? The part where they said that where they were going into a close that they were going to reinstate Mr. McCorkle, or was it the envelope that was handed to me when I was in my office on the phone? And usually my office door is closed for a reason, and I got a knock on the door, and I opened the door. I was on my phone, and Mike O'Reilly passed me a brown envelope, and on the brown envelope was nothing. And I've got a few of these confidential, private, and confidential letters. This envelope had nothing on it. The document inside had nothing on it. Okay, so what was private and confidential about that? Not only that, it was adding on to communication sanctions, or whatever you want to call them, on more employees. Like, are you kidding me? Like, half of our council have immediate family members that work for the city. Like, how many more people do you want to add on to it?
Well, now,
Because you can't go into a closed meeting. You got to have an open meeting or special meeting to approve a closed meeting. You don't just keep adding on to it, Brett. They were in there for 3 hours. It would have taken them 2 minutes to reinstate Mr. McCorkle. What else did they talk about? Hey, and again, talk about update. Were they also talking about locking the mayor out of certain spots, and them locking themselves out of certain spots in City Hall? And talk about, right now you can walk through City Hall. You can walk right into my office. You wouldn't have to stop at the reception desk.
okay, I wanted to ask you here. You say that this report arrived in your mailbox, that it was from somebody in Tofino. How do you know that?
It says it on the. You didn't get the copy of the envelope?
No.
Yeah, well,
You
you're right, because I don't really share a lot of stuff with you. Anyway, it's Tofino is where it came from. That's on the envelope.
You don't know from who?
No.
Was there
Like
not
I said, I've asked you,
was
Brett.
there not a name?
Brett, I've asked you for the report. I've asked every reporter for the report. I've asked.
I never had it.
Well, that's great, but other people have had it. Okay, I've asked a lot of people for it. I've asked it in open council meetings. I've asked the lawyers. Our lawyers have asked. Okay. Matter of fact, Levi Laundry, even he told me that he'd filed an FOI, and the city said that they couldn't confirm or deny that they had it. So I've asked for it for a long time, and guess what? At least I have it now. And you know what? Like I said, if there's certain people want to step up to the plate and start telling the truth, then it won't have to go to court. But guess what? If they don't want to step up, because these are allegations and innuendos,
So
then
are
it
you
will
saying
go.
that you intend to sue David Trowan?
If David Trowan wants to step up to the plate and say what he said he was going to do, David Trowan was going to retract his email that he sent to all the council about me threatening to fire him. Okay,
Why is he on leave right now?
I have no idea. You'd have to ask Brian McCorkle,
Okay.
or possibly one of the other councillors, or one of your sources. I mean, you just said that sources, your sources, whoever they are.
Have you ever been contacted yet by the Office of the Information and Privacy Commissioner?
No,
Not yet.
no.
Okay. I mean, you've had some things to say lately regarding Councillor O'Reilly. You seem to be singling him out. Why is that?
Brett, he's the one that was actually on your station about the hunt truck file, blabbing off my name.
He was the council designated spokesperson on the issue.
To talk about specific things that are closed. Is that right? It's kind of like the doors closed, half open, or what is it?
It was already out there. He was responding. He was asked to come on to respond.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
What am I singling him out? He just got on the air. What do you mean? He just finished telling everybody that the mayor's going to cost $1 million for lawsuits. When is he representing those employees? Like, where are those employees? Why didn't they?
Well, he's been designated by council to speak on their behalf, just like Katie Newstater was when they held that news conference.
And he's voting on measures that are taken against the mayor, against staff members, and he has an immediate family member that's a staff member. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
I'm pretty sure that
you're right. It's up to them to decide whether they feel they're in conflict or not. But yeah, why am I? He's up. What are you talking about? He's up talking to you about, like I said,
because he is the designated spokesperson.
Is he the designated spokesperson for the people that are going to take the city to court for constructive dismissals and all that? Why aren't those people speaking up? Why aren't they? Why is their lawyers not paying for this stuff, Brett? Why is the city of Kamloops paying for this integrity rate group report?
Well, I think this is a foreseeable outcome when there's bullying and harassment allegations against you.
Yeah, well, guess what? You never read the first 10 pages of that report where the safety officer came in, and guess what? Everybody was fine, Brett. Everybody was fine. And then
they're so fine that they're out on leave, right?
Yeah. Brett, does it make any sense that somebody comes into my office, start screaming at me. I let them out the door.
I'm
Let me finish. Let me finish.
I'm
Let
not
me
here. No,
let me
you know
finish.
what? No, you know what? I'm not here to litigate some.
No, you're
some,
just a biased guy on the air that likes to yap off all the time. I know that. A lot of people tell me that, and I don't listen to your station a lot, but a lot of people tell me when you do.
I mean, it's interesting though because
very
I do
interesting.
seem to live rent free in your head. So
Yeah. Okay, Brett.
well, okay.
I thought you were supposed to be objective. I thought that you were supposed to be an unbiased.
I'm actually a talk show host, Reid. I'm
Or
literally.
you can
paid
say
for
whatever you
my-
want, eh,
I'm
Brett?
literally paid for my opinion.
Yeah. Well, guess what? That's a really good opinion you have. You
Yeah.
have
Well,
very, very little respect for the democratic process because guess what, Brett? I got elected as mayor, and I don't think you've accepted that yet.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess I just want to ask you here if you've ever knowingly put the city in a position of legal risk against legal advice to you from the city's lawyer.
The city's lawyer?
Yes. From the city solicitor. Solicitor's advice to you.
You mean back when the city lawyer said in I think it was December 8th of 2022 that when they'd already had a closed meeting, but then they were going to they had to have a special meeting to introduce the closed meeting that they already had, and they said I shouldn't go into that meeting, but I did go into it, and the city solicitor at that time said to me that my personal my personal values were more than the city, and I forget the exact wording, Brad. I'm really sorry, but if you go back, you can actually watch the meeting. It was I think it was the December the 8th, I think, and the actual closed meeting that they didn't approve to be closed was on the 6th.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to leave it there. We got, it's time to get to the 4 o'clock major news. Not sure what we've learned here today, but people can decide for themselves.
Be honest with yourself, Brett. Just be honest. That's all you need to do. This is Kamloops, okay? This is not Trumpville, or it's not somewhere else. It's not Victoria. It's not wherever else you've been. This is Kamloops, and you know what my goals are, Brett? Is to get a safer community and accountability, and that's going to continue to be my goals, whether you believe me or not. Okay?
Okay. Well, when does the accountability apply to you?
You bet it does.
Okay. All right. Well, Your Worship, thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Brett. It's too bad you don't mean that.